before Grain Weevil, the only tool that you had to go in there and to spread out the wet spots or whatever was a rake or a shovel, and the human being in the grain bin. We're just here to make everything more efficient and make things work better for you, because in this environment, your profit margins are extremely tight. So every kernel matters, and every bit of grain that you can maintain the highest quality that you can, the better off you're going to be when you do sell your grain. And that's what the robot gives you, the best case scenario for doing that. And all the best practices from the history of how to store grain, uniform airflow is the best single thing that you can do to maintain grain quality. And the robot gives you the tool that allows you to implement a lot of the best practices that used to only be able to be done by a human. And then it also unlocks a lot of practices that no one's ever gonna cone out a grain bin and then go in there and scoop grain into the sump, right? It's just not safe, but we can do that with the robot. So this grain flow intelligence is really about precisely controlling your airflow, your moisture flow, and your grain flow throughout the entire grain storage process. From the very beginning, from the very first robot, we've always known that we have to build a robot that can pass the Class 2 Div 1 dust explosion requirements. Those are all engineered into this robot. They're brushless DC motors, so there's no brushes, there's no sparks. We've been out below zero breaking up ice chunks inside of grain bins. And if we're willing to go out and do that, the farmers are going to get out there and use the robots whenever they need to. And so that's our goal, is to design the robot that can be used from 20 below Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. But some of those lightning strike type things that really have propelled our company, I don't think you could ever replicate again. And we were going through that combine experience. The funny part is, my son and I had never been in a grain bin before we started, but I think that actually has helped us a lot. We came into this with a mission, to help a family friend, and then now that's extended to all farmers and people that work in stored grain. So it's been great to be able to sit back and say, we know how to build robots, but you guys got to help us figure out how to build a robot that'll work in a grain bin.